Some truths do not shout. They whisper underneath the noise of the world, waiting for the one who becomes quiet enough to hear them. One such truth is this: there is a silent physician living in you, an inner pharmacy of infinite remedies, waiting for your command. It never sleeps, never argues, never resists. It only obeys. The ancient teachers called it spirit. The mystics called it the inner temple, and today we may call it the subconscious mind. Names differ, but the power is one. You are entering that temple now, not by walking anywhere outwardly, but by gently turning your attention inward, toward the place where all thoughts are born and all experiences are shaped. This is a sacred space because here, in the quiet workshop of your subconscious, everything in your life is designed, assembled, and released into the world. Every cell in your body, every pattern in your circumstances, every repeated drama, and every quiet blessing is first written as an inner script, then performed by the stage crew of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious is not a judge, it is a builder. It takes the instructions you impress upon it with feeling and repetition, and then it constructs your life out of that mental blueprint. It is like a great mental factory, always humming, processing every belief and emotional tone you accept as true. Modern science calls some of this activity neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated thought and experience. What the mystics knew in parable, neuroscience now observes in imaging scans. The pathways you fire become the highways your life travels. Every thought tinged with feeling sends a signal, not just through the brain, but through the entire body, through the electromagnetic field that surrounds you, through the invisible network of resonance connecting you with people, situations, and events. Your emotional states are not passive. They are instructions, vibrational signatures you are constantly broadcasting. The subconscious mind hears them, records them, and then sets the silent engines of your being into motion to fulfill them. This is why you have been told again and again in different language that as you think in your heart, so you become. Consider this: when you place your hand upon a part of your body that aches, you are not merely touching skin and bone. You are placing your attention there, and where your attention goes, your inner power flows. The subconscious mind, that inner doctor, is always listening for your emotional emphasis. When you say, "This pain is getting worse," with fear and frustration, you are giving a command. When you say, "This part of me is now relaxing, healing, and returning to its divine pattern of wholeness," with calm certainty, you are giving a different command. Lay your hand on the ailing place, physical or emotional, and know that you are placing it upon the altar of your own inner pharmacy. You speak once with conviction, and the silent chemistry of your body begins to change. Your heart rate shifts, hormones adjust, neural pathways reconfigure. To cooperate is to choose your inner words with care, to plant your mental garden with intention, to trust the process of growth, and to allow time for seeds to become trees. It is to use your nights as sacred workshops of reprogramming, your days as laboratories of practice, and your challenges as invitations to deeper alignment. As you continue on this path, a moment comes, not always as a flash of lightning, but often as a quiet realization, when you know, in the depths of your being, that you are not a powerless body trying to survive in a hostile universe. You are a conscious expression of infinite intelligence, entrusted with a creative mind and a responsive subconscious. You see that your life is not happening to you, but through you. This realization is liberation. You may still experience storms, but you no longer identify as the storm. You know yourself as the sky, vast and unbroken, in which the weather passes. You may still have sensations in the body, but you no longer define yourself as the pain. You know yourself as the awareness in which the body is held, and as the directing mind that can speak healing instructions to it. Now, as these words draw toward their close, feel the quiet strength they point to already present in you. There is nothing you need to acquire to begin this work. You already have a subconscious mind, already connected to infinite intelligence, already regulating your body, already recording your thoughts. The power has been with you from the beginning. You are simply turning toward it with new respect, new understanding, and new intention. You are recognizing your inner pharmacy and learning to issue clearer, kinder, wiser prescriptions. You are acknowledging the inner doctor and learning to speak to it with confidence. You are accepting that your thoughts are creative, your feelings are instructions, and your beliefs are laws in the universe of your experience. From this day forward, whenever an ailing place calls your attention, whether it is a tightness in your chest, a restless mind, or a weary heart, you know what to do. You slow down. You place your hand gently upon that place. You breathe, and with the calm authority of someone who knows the laws of the mind, you speak once from the depths of your heart. Infinite intelligence within me, I recognize you as the healer, the restorer, the harmonizer. I now command this area of my life to align with your perfect pattern. I release all fear, all resistance, all belief in limitation. I accept your healing action now. I thank you that it is done. Then you let go. You allow the inner pharmacy to do its work. You return to thoughts of gratitude, images of peace, actions of self-care. You trust that the silent engines of your subconscious are turning, that new neural pathways are forming, that new emotional circuits are being wired, that the quantum field is reorganizing around your new assumption of health and harmony. You walk through your days with a quieter mind, a softer heart, and a deeper sense of partnership with the life within you. You no longer approach prayer as a desperate plea, but as a calm alignment with law. You no longer see your body as an enemy, but as a faithful servant, responding to your inner signals. In this way, step by gentle step, thought by chosen thought, feeling by transformed feeling, you awaken from the trance of helplessness into the truth of your personal sovereignty. You realize that all creation in your experience begins in the mind, that the subconscious is the womb of your reality, and that you are the one who decides what seeds to plant there. This is the quiet, powerful message the inner teacher leaves with you. Your subconscious is always listening, the universe is always responding, and the infinite intelligence within you is always ready to heal, guide, and renew. Each moment is an opportunity to choose a new thought, to plant a new seed, to give a new instruction to the inner pharmacy. And so, with calm certainty, you may rest in this awareness. Transformation begins with a shift in consciousness. Health begins with a new belief in the body's divine pattern. Peace begins with a new assumption about your safety in a wise and intelligent universe. Abundance begins with a new conviction about your worthiness as a channel of infinite supply. The power is not somewhere else. It is here, in you, now. Lay your hand on the ailing place, speak once from the heart, and let the inner pharmacy do the rest. The subconscious mind receives a new divine blueprint and begins to reorder the cells, tissues, and responses according to the law you have just impressed. There is no magic in the superstitious sense. There is higher law. Just as gravity does not pick favorites, the law of mind is utterly impartial. It yields to whoever understands how to use it. The one who constantly rehearses thoughts of anxiety and dread is using the same law as the one who quietly affirms peace and harmony. The subconscious mind responds to belief, to feeling, to the emotional electricity of your inner words. It does not respond to mere lip service. It answers the tone of your inner certainty. Stress, limitation, and suffering are not punishments from an angry universe. They are feedback, reflections of old mental programs, emotional imprints, and conditioned beliefs running automatically below the surface. Sometimes they began in childhood, when your tender mind first absorbed messages about what is possible, what is safe, what you deserve. Sometimes they came from the culture, from repeated stories of scarcity, struggle, and sickness being inevitable. These patterns sank into the fertile soil of the subconscious, and like seeds, they began to grow. Picture your subconscious mind as a vast garden. For years, seeds of fear, doubt, and unworthiness may have been planted there, not always by conscious choice, but by repetition and emotional intensity. Each fearful thought was a seed. Each anxious feeling was a drop of water. Each word of self-criticism was fertilizer. And the garden, obedient and impartial, grew what it was given. The weeds of worry, the thorn bushes of resentment, the tangled vines of guilt wrapped themselves around your inner landscape and began to show up as conditions in your body, relationships, and circumstances. Yet within this same garden lies the capacity to grow orchards of abundance, fields of peace, and forests of radiant health. The soil is the same. What changes is the seed. When you understand this, you stop fighting the garden and start replanting it. You begin to recognize that the inner world always precedes the outer. Your experiences are not random. They are expressions of the mental blueprints impressed upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is like a gigantic mental reservoir, storing every impression ever accepted as true. It is also like a power plant, drawing on the infinite intelligence that permeates the universe. There is nowhere the divine mind is not. It is the quiet wisdom that coordinates every heartbeat, guides every cell, and orchestrates the streaming of galaxies. That same intelligence flows through you as you, ready to shape itself according to your inner images and beliefs. When you pray in the old way, you may beg, plead, and hope that some distant power might intervene. But in the higher understanding, prayer is not begging. It is scientific mental conditioning. It is the art of impressing the subconscious mind with the idea you wish to see expressed until that idea sinks in, takes root, and becomes your reality. Scientific prayer works through law, the law that belief becomes experience, the law that what you accept in feeling you will one day recognize in form. This is why your inner words are sacred. Every time you say, I am, you are signing a decree in the court of your subconscious. When you say, I am always sick, your subconscious says, very well. When you say, I am healing, I am whole, I am guided by the intelligence that created me, your subconscious says, very well, and begins mobilizing your inner processes to match that decree. It does not argue, it only obeys. There is an inner conversation that never stops, a quiet stream of self-talk that runs beneath your days and nights. Much of it is unconscious, inherited, automatic. It says, they never choose me. Nothing ever works. I'm always anxious. My body always lets me down. These phrases seem casual, but they are spells spoken over your life. The subconscious, always listening, always literal, accepts them. This is why transformation begins with noticing the words you speak inside. Now, gently, without strain, allow yourself to listen to that inner voice. Notice what it tends to say about your health, your worth, your future. You do not need to judge it, simply observe. Each thought is a thread in the tapestry of your life. If you do not like the pattern being woven, you can introduce new threads. This is the law of substitution. You do not fight the old thought, you replace it. When the mind says, I am afraid, you whisper within, peace is here now. I am safe in the presence of divine intelligence. When the mind says, this will never heal, you quietly affirm, every cell in my body responds to the perfect pattern of life. I am healing now. When the mind says, I am unworthy, you introduce a new statement. I am a worthy expression of infinite intelligence, deserving of health, love, and abundance. At first, these new thoughts may feel unfamiliar, like trying on new garments. The old clothes of fear and doubt may feel more natural because you have worn them for years. But remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. Each time you choose the new statement, especially with feeling, you are laying down new neural pathways, creating new emotional circuitry. You are showing your subconscious a new blueprint, and it will follow the design. Now consider the sleeping hours, those long stretches of time when the conscious mind rests and the subconscious mind stands watch, open, and receptive. Nighttime is one of the most potent periods for reprogramming because the mental guards are relaxed. The sleeping method is the art of using this time as a sacred window to plant new seeds. Before you sleep, While the body softens and the day's noise fades, you present your subconscious with a simple, clear instruction wrapped in feeling. You might lie quietly, place your hand upon the ailing place, body or heart, and say with calm conviction, "As I sleep, the infinite intelligence within me restores this area to perfect order." Every cell, every nerve, every tissue responds to the divine blueprint of wholeness. Then you gently imagine that area glowing with warmth and light, as though your inner pharmacy has opened its doors and begun dispensing healing energies, hormones, and regenerative forces. You do not force the image, you let it arrive like a soft picture behind your closed eyes. You say it once, perhaps a few times, slowly, until you feel a sense of peace, a subtle inner yes. Then you release it. You do not stay up all night worrying whether the subconscious heard you. Just as you do not dig up a seed after planting it to see if it is growing, you do not uproot your prayer with anxious questions. You trust the process. You rest in the quiet assurance that the inner doctor is at work, that the divine blueprint has been activated, that the healing factory of your subconscious has received its order. While you sleep, the subconscious mind reviews the impressions of the day, consolidates memory, and reorganizes neural pathways. Modern neuroscience observes this as the brain's nighttime housekeeping. Spiritual science sees it as the subconscious working through the materials you have fed it. When you give it images of health, peace, and success before sleep, you are offering it instructions for what to build overnight. There was once a man who carried a silent fear in his chest for years. Every small sensation in his body became a catastrophe in his mind. He would lie awake in the dark, imagining the worst, rehearsing scenes of hospitals and bad news. His heart would race, his breathing would grow shallow, and his subconscious would receive the message, "We are not safe, we are fragile, we are always on the brink of disaster." His body obediently followed. Stress hormones flooded his system. His immune defenses weakened. Small aches magnified into obsessions. One evening, exhausted by his fears, he heard a simple idea. As you sleep, your subconscious is your greatest ally. Give it a new task. That night, rather than replaying his usual scenarios, he placed his hand gently over his heart and whispered, "Inner doctor, I am ready to trust you. As I sleep, you regulate every rhythm of my heart in perfect harmony. You restore every cell according to divine order. I thank you." He pictured his heart surrounded by a soft glow, steady and calm, like a lighthouse in still waters. He repeated this for many nights, not with strain, but with growing ease. After some time, he noticed that the panic episodes grew less frequent. His sleep deepened. His body relaxed. Medical checkups showed improved markers. Much of what science would call the reduction of chronic stress and the normalization of autonomic responses, he understood as the subconscious responding to his new prayer. He had laid his hand on the ailing place, spoken once with faith, and allowed the inner pharmacy to do the rest. Scientific prayer does not shout. It does not bargain. It speaks with the authority of truth and the softness of love. It assumes the answer is already given in the invisible, and then it nourishes that assumption with feeling until it becomes form. You may say, "Infinite intelligence within me, you know the perfect pattern of health for this body. You designed it, you maintain it. I now align with that pattern. I accept radiant health as my reality. I thank you that it is so." The power is not in the specific words, it is in the state of consciousness they produce. When you pray this way, you are not sending a message up to a distant heaven. You are activating a law within yourself, turning the steering wheel of the subconscious toward a new destination. The law is simple. What you feel and believe to be true about yourself, life, and the universe, you will experience in some form. Emotional alchemy begins the moment you recognize that you are not a victim of your feelings, but a chemist of them. Fear, anger, sorrow, these are raw energies, like unrefined elements in a laboratory. The subconscious mind responds to their dominant tone. If you bathe your inner world in fear, the subconscious receives blueprints of threat and begins organizing your biology accordingly. If you bathe it in peace, gratitude, and trust, it receives blueprints of safety and begins adjusting your chemistry to match. To transform an emotion is not to deny it, but to meet it with a higher understanding. When fear arises, you may gently say within, "I see you, and I no longer build my life on you. Beneath you, deeper than you, there is a presence of peace that never leaves me." Then you breathe slowly, allowing your nervous system to feel what the words point to. As your breath slows, your heart rate shifts, your body begins to re-regulate. The subconscious registers this shift as a new standard. You may picture the fear as a dark cloud in your chest and then imagine a warm golden light descending from above, surrounding and permeating that cloud. You watch as it softens, dissolves, and is absorbed into the light. You are not forcing. You are allowing the image to unfold gently. This visualization is not childish. It is a language the subconscious understands: symbol, image, feeling. The inner mind is moved more by pictures than by intellectual arguments. When you give it images of transformation, you are feeding the mental factory raw materials for new experiences. Visualization is the blueprint of creation. Every building you have ever entered began as an image in someone's mind. Every invention, every piece of music, every gesture of kindness was first imagined. When you visualize your body is healthy, your mind is clear, your life is harmonious, and you do so in a relaxed state with feeling, you are submitting architectural plans to the subconscious. It studies these plans and begins to coordinate conditions to match them. You do not need to know how it will work. The seed does not need to know how the soil, water, and sunlight will cooperate. It only needs to be planted. When you see yourself walking freely, breathing fully, radiating peace, and you feel the comfort of that in your body, you have planted a seed. The subconscious, in partnership with the infinite intelligence flowing through all things, takes that seed and places it in the quantum field of possibilities, drawing to you ideas, intuitions, and conditions that correspond. There is a divine blueprint for your body and your life, a pattern of wholeness, harmony, and right function. Sickness and chaos are distortions, temporary misprints in the pattern caused by sustained fear, resentment, or false belief. When you hold new images in mind and feel them as true, you are allowing the original pattern to reassert itself. You are saying to the inner power, "I choose to cooperate with the design you intended, not the distortions I inherited." Secrecy and silence have their role in this work. When you are building a new mental pattern, it is often wise to keep it sacred, like a seed protected from harsh weather. If you share your inner blueprint with those who cannot see it, their doubts, fears, and ridicule may stir up doubt in you, weakening your conviction. The subconscious mind responds to your conviction, so you may choose to be quiet, to let your new belief grow in the soil of your own heart before exposing it to the winds of other people's opinions. When you decide to heal, to prosper, to live in peace, you do not need to announce it to everyone. Instead, you go inward and make a quiet agreement with the infinite intelligence within you. I choose health. I choose peace. I choose to live as the expression of divine abundance. Then, in silence, you repeat this choice each day, not with tension, but with gentle consistency. The law is at work, even when nothing seems to be happening. In time, your subconscious mind begins to align your behavior, perceptions, and bodily responses with your inner choice. You may notice impulses to rest more, to nourish your body differently, to release toxic relationships, to forge an old wound. These are not random. They are the surface reflections of deeper programming changing. The subconscious has received your new instructions and is now guiding you toward actions that support them. Consider a woman who carried resentment like a stone in her chest. Years of unspoken anger hardened into tension in her body, aches in her shoulders, a heaviness around her heart. She told herself, "This is just who I am now, tired, hurt, stiff." Her subconscious accepted that identity and maintained it. One day she learned that her feelings were not final sentences, but signals. She realized that her resentment was not punishing the person who hurt her. It was punishing her own nervous system. Her subconscious had been faithfully reproducing the emotional script she repeated. I am the one who was wronged. She decided to try a new approach. Each night before sleep, she placed her hand over her chest and whispered, Infinite intelligence within, I release this person into your care. I no longer dedicate my life force to reliving this pain. I choose peace. I choose freedom. She pictured herself handing over the heavy stone to a radiant light, watching it dissolve. At first, the old story returned. Her mind replayed the scenes of hurt. But each time it did, she practiced the law of substitution. She interrupted the movie and replaced it with a new image. Herself walking freely, her shoulders relaxed, her heart open, her life filled with new expressions of love. She felt the relief as best she could. Weeks passed. The aches began to soften. She noticed moments of unexpected lightness. One morning she realized that the old story no longer had the same emotional grip. Remembering the past felt like watching a distant play instead of reliving a wound. Her body responded, less tension, deeper sleep, more vitality. Her doctor was surprised at the changes in her health markers. She understood. By releasing resentment and choosing peace, she had changed the command given to her inner pharmacy. The subconscious no longer received instructions to flood her body with stress chemistry. It now received instructions to allow ease, to restore, to regenerate. This is emotional alchemy, transforming the lead of old pain into the gold of present peace. It is not a denial of what happened. It is a decision about what you will continue to create from it. The subconscious always listens, and it does not forget, but when you show it a new way, it is faithful to follow. As you listen to these words, notice the subtle shifts already occurring in your body. Perhaps your shoulders soften, your breath deepens, your jaw unclenches slightly. These are signs that your nervous system is hearing a new message. You are safe in this moment. You are not alone in the work of your healing. There is a greater intelligence in you, guiding every process of your being. You may begin to speak directly to this inner intelligence. Quietly, within, you might say, Infinite intelligence, I recognize you as the source of my life. You beat my heart, digest my food, repair my cells, and coordinate countless processes without my conscious effort. And I now invite you to bring this same wisdom to every area where I feel out of harmony. I step aside from fear and let you lead. Feel the relief in these words. The burden to control every outcome, to understand every mechanism, falls away. You do not have to be the engineer of your healing. You are the one who chooses the destination, and the inner wisdom knows the route. Your task is to keep the mental picture and emotional tone aligned with the destination you choose. Think of your subconscious as a silent engine powered by infinite power. It will drive you toward whatever destination your inner beliefs specify. If the coordinates are set to, I am sick, weak, and doomed, the engine will dutifully move you toward experiences that confirm that belief. If you reset the coordinates to, I am aligned with the pattern of health, strength, and peace, the engine will just as faithfully move you there. In this sense, your life is not predetermined by fate, but pre-directed by subconscious patterns. Change the patterns, and over time, the path changes. This is not always instantaneous. The outer world has momentum. But just as a large ship begins to respond when the rudder turns, your body and circumstances begin to slowly shift as you maintain new inner directions. Now, gently allow yourself to feel what it would be like to fully trust your inner pharmacy. Picture yourself placing your hand on any area of discomfort and feeling, beneath the surface, a great intelligence beginning to respond, adjusting blood flow, calming nerve signals, regulating hormones, initiating repair. You need not see the details, simply sense that something wise and benevolent is at work. You may say inwardly, I trust the life within me. I cooperate with it by thinking thoughts of health, speaking words of peace, and resting in the certainty that every cell knows what to do. These words are not wishful thinking. They are instructions issued to the subconscious. They are also instructions to your nervous system, which will adjust its responses according to the belief you hold. Your thoughts are not only airy abstractions, they are electromagnetic impulses, measurable and influential. They create patterns in your brain, fields around your body, and tendencies in your behavior. The quantum field of possibility responds to your dominant assumptions about yourself and life. When you assume yourself to be a perpetual victim of illness and bad luck, you filter reality through that lens, noticing only what confirms it. When you assume that you are guided, supported, and equipped with an inner power, you begin to recognize opportunities, solutions, and improvements that were previously invisible. The inner world creates the outer world. This is not a poetic statement. It is the working principle of human experience. Change your inner assumptions, and the outer reflections adjust. Sometimes they shift slowly, like the changing of seasons. Sometimes they rearrange quickly, like a sudden storm clearing the sky. But they shift. So you begin where you are. Perhaps there is a part of your body that has been calling for attention. Perhaps your heart has been tired, your mind restless, your spirit weary. You do not need to fight these conditions. You simply acknowledge them as expressions of old programs, old seeds, old blueprints, and you decide here and now to introduce a new pattern. Gently, you might close your eyes and place your hand on that ailing place, or on your heart if the pain is emotional and diffuse. You breathe slowly. You allow your awareness to settle into that space beneath your hand. You notice any sensations without judgment. Then, in a quiet, calm tone, you speak inwardly. Inner doctor, infinite intelligence within, I recognize you as the true healer. I now give you permission to restore this area to its original pattern of health. I release all beliefs of incurability, all fear, all resistance. I accept your work in me now. You may feel nothing dramatic, or perhaps you feel warmth, tingling, or a subtle easing. It does not matter. You are not chasing sensations. You are establishing a new agreement. You have laid your hand on the ailing place, spoken once from the heart, and now you allow the inner pharmacy to fulfill the order. In the days that follow, you support this process by aligning your self-talk with what you have declared. When the old habit of saying, "I'll never get better," arises, you apply the law of substitution. You replace it with, "Every day, in every way, I am moving toward greater balance and harmony. The intelligence that created my body is restoring it now." You may repeat this especially before sleep, inviting the sleeping method to amplify your work. As you drift off, you hold a simple image, yourself already well, already free, already at peace. You do not strain to maintain it. You rest in it like resting into a warm bed. You let the subconscious take that image into the night and work on it while you sleep. Over time, as this becomes your inner habit, your identity quietly shifts. You no longer introduce yourself to life as the sick one, the anxious one, the unlucky one. You begin to feel yourself as the one who is healing, the one who is guided, the one who is cooperating with infinite intelligence. This identity is not boasting. It is alignment. The more you live from this inner identity, the more your actions reflect it. You listen to your body's needs. You set boundaries where your energy was previously drained. You choose thoughts and environments that nourish your peace. All of these behaviors confirm the new belief to the subconscious, strengthening the neural and emotional pathways that support health. In this way, the process becomes cyclical. New belief leads to new feeling, which leads to new behavior, which leads to new evidence, which strengthens the belief. The cycle of suffering is replaced with a cycle of healing. There may still be moments of fear, doubt, or discomfort. This does not mean the law has failed. It means some old pockets of belief are coming into view to be transformed. When they do, you meet them with the same calm authority. I see you, old thought, old feeling, and I no longer give you the power to define me. I choose a high, truth. Then you gently replace it with your chosen statement, your chosen image. The subconscious mind is always listening. Every whisper of self-pity, every silent curse, every unspoken worry is picked up and processed. But so is every silent affirmation, every inner blessing, every quiet word of gratitude. You cannot stop the subconscious from listening, but you can become more deliberate about what you are saying. Your body, your relationships, your finances, your opportunities, all of these are channels through which the infinite intelligence expresses according to your inner instructions. When you align your thoughts and feelings with the truths of wholeness, abundance, and peace, you open those channels wide. The once ailing place in your body may become a place of renewed strength. The once wounded place in your heart may become a source of compassion and wisdom. You are not alone in this work. The same intelligence that spins the planets, that guides the migration of birds, that orchestrates the seasons is present within you as a supportive, responsive presence. It is not against you. It is for your fullness of expression. It only waits for your cooperation.